One of the most difficult things for Westerners to hear from their Muslim neighbors or advocates of Islam is the notion that Islam is a religion of peace. And of course, the reason why that's difficult for non-Muslims to believe is we see the news and we see the reports of groups like ISIS, and we see the beheading of Western journalists. And not only Western journalists, but we see a great deal of violence being done to other Arab peoples. We see Christians forced out of their homes under the pain of death, the threat of death. We recall the terrorist attacks of 9/11 and any number of other egregious, violent acts which are anything but peaceful. And of course, the folks who carry out those attacks, they don't seem to blush at all at the claim to be Muslim, and will make their case for why, in fact, they are Muslims and truer Muslims than moderate Muslims. And so it's right for Westerners to be left questioning, is Islam a religion of peace? And I think the thing to keep in mind is that when you're thinking about Islam, despite its appearance on the news, it's not one thing. And Muslims are not one people, really. There's great diversity in Islam. Most of your Muslim neighbors or friends, the overwhelming majority of your Muslim neighbors and friends in places like the United States are in the United States for the same reason that many other immigrants or families are in the United States. They have the same desires, the same ambitions. They want their kids to be healthy and well. They want their children to have access to good schools. They want economic opportunity. They want nice neighborhoods. So very much alike in that regard. And so your kind of mainstream, call it moderate, everyday Muslim, is not a jihadist. Is not a terrorist. And for those folks, Islam is indeed a religion of peace. And many of them would often understand the texts on jihad and portions of the hadith in very different ways than what we have come to call radical Muslims. And the problem, of course, is the radical Muslim is making his or her case from those religious texts. And in that sense, we can't claim Islam to be a religion of peace. We cannot argue or accept the argument that a guy wielding a sword, beheading a non-combatant in a situation which is not war, that is just, that is peaceful, that is good. It's not. Attacks on civilian populations and civilian destinations, unprovoked, again, not in a state of war, even in a state of war, that wouldn't be regarded as just, wouldn't be regarded as peaceful. And to the extent that they can make their argument for such things from the Quran and from the Hadith and from their own history, then we'd have to reject the notion that Islam, on those terms, is a religion of peace.